When Napoleon
They captured the son of Joseph Stalin and called him immediately, proposing a deal. You see, they wanted to exchange his lieutenant's son for a captured German marshal, but Stalin calmly refused, saying he doesn't exchange lieutenants for marshals. And when his son heard that, he ended his own life, realizing that no one could save him.
The German army reported the capture of Yakov Djugashvili, Stalin's son, on the 19th of July. The call for the exchange of the Field Marshal Friedrich Paulus did not occur, and could have not occurred at this time since he was captured in 1943 after the Battle of Stalingrad, while Yakov was captured in 1941. So before that, Yakov was used as propaganda by Joseph Goebbels until then, and was even featured in leaflets dropped over the USSR. Stalin was outraged, since he ordered for no soldier to surrender, and this was his son. When the Germans called about the deal, Stalin did not reply bitching about ranks, but instead said that, "Just think how many sons ended up in camps. Who would swap them for Paulus? Were they worse than Yakov?" And also stated that every dead and captured Soviet soldier was his son, in classic Soviet fashion. Also, the death of Stalin's son is disputed. It is known that he died in Sachsenhausen concentration camp, but it is unknown whether he did commit suicide. While it is plausible that he could have done it since he struggled with suicidal thoughts when he was younger, it was not with a pistol, but more probable that he threw himself against a camp fence.
Why was Italy so useless during World War II? In 1940, Mussolini saw Germany crushing France, so he thought, why not jump in and grab some land? Because he wanted to bring back the Roman Empire. But its army was using World War I tanks, outdated rifles, and barely had fuel. They invaded Greece and got pushed back. They attacked Egypt and got humiliated. And every time Italy tried to fight, Germany had to bail them out. Even Hitler saw Mussolini as a burden. By 1943, Italy was falling apart. The Allies were bombing cities, and their morale was gone. So the king had Mussolini arrested, making Italy switch sides.
The simple reasons for the Italians' failure in World War II was lack of industrial capability, lack of natural resources like oil and coal, and poor military training and leadership. Also, little pet peeve, if you are going to show the flag of Egypt, at least show the one that is correct to the time you're discussing. While it is true that Italy started off with shitty tankettes, they eventually upgraded to tanks like the Carro Armato M13/40. Also, the tank that they showed for the World War I tank in the video was a Fiat 2000. Which was never used in World War II by the Italian army. Also, guess what? This testicle on wheels was never even used in World War I. There was only ever 2 prototypes built. Also, this video fails to mention the Italian invasion of Ethiopia, where Italy was able to win due to the fact that Ethiopia could not defend itself against superior Italian armor. Also, when Mussolini was deposed, he was immediately brought back by Hitler when he invaded the south of Italy, and reinstated Mussolini as leader of the Italian Social Republic before Mussolini was finally killed by Italian partisans in 1945.
Why did Portugal stay out of World War II when everyone else was fighting?
Because they didn't fucking have to! They knew that it was a pointless, destructive conflict which wouldn't benefit them in any way. They had all their colonies, Spain had just finished a civil war, they were completely fine, they didn't have to get involved.
During World War II, over 3 million German soldiers crossed into Soviet territory. The German army crushed Soviet forces and advanced so fast they reached the outskirts of Moscow. It looked like the Soviet Union would be under Nazi within weeks, but Hitler made a big mistake. He delayed the invasion until June. If he had attacked just a few weeks earlier, his troops might have taken Moscow before the brutal Russian winter hit. But that's not the only reason, because instead of focusing all his forces on Moscow, he split them in 3 directions: north to Leningrad, south to Ukraine, and east to the capital. If he had gone all in on Moscow, the Soviet command structure could have collapsed right there. And in Ukraine, the locals hated Stalin. Many were ready to rise up, but Hitler's army treated them like enemies, turning future allies into resistance fighters.
What? Bruh. This isn't the fucking Napoleonic Wars where you march your troops in a single line towards a single area for a battle in that specific area. Do you not understand that if he focused all of his troops on Moscow, that the other Red Army troops could have just outflanked his armies and encircled all of those troops in a giant blob in the middle of the European part of Russia? Also, if Moscow fell, the Soviets would have kept on fighting. Russia is big, dude. It is the biggest country in the world. And at that time, it was even bigger, incorporating all of the states it owned. Do you not understand that? The simple fact was that it was an unwinnable situation. While yes, timing was a big part of it, the biggest part is that the Soviets just had a way bigger army than the Germans. Also, you should have also mentioned Belarus and Barbarossa, since in Belarus, partisan operations began immediately. While it is true that in Ukraine there was a lot of atrocities committed by the Germans, such as Babin Yar, there was quite a bit of Ukrainian collaborators. And if I see one fucking Russian bot in the comments talking about, oh, you see, the Ukrainians, they were, Nazis. I swear to God, piss off. I'm not blaming the whole of the fucking Ukrainian people for what those specific Ukrainians did, alright? Fuck off. Anyway, these Ukrainians were incorporated into units known as Ukrainian Auxiliary Police Units, which did commit atrocities in Ukraine and Belarus. For those who want to do more research into so-called German anti-partisan operations in Belarus, you can search up Operation Cottbus. Alright, thank you very much for everybody who watched this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you can smash a like. I don't really have time to continue this video at this moment. If you would like to see longer videos like this, just comment down below. And yeah, I'll see you soon.